나처럼 groovy하게 나처럼 groovy하게.
Some of you guys might be wondering why I decided to make a video about my favorite 2018 title tracks, especially considering that it's May of 2020. I've been debating making a video like this for a while, partly because I think 2018 was just a really good year for K-pop releases in general, and partly because this list is definitely different from the list I would have made at the end of 2018, and I like to reevaluate my opinions on things periodically. It's true when they say that hindsight bias is 2020, because I think I've finally been able to come up with a solid list of songs I love and have aged really well in my opinion. This list is only going to include Korean title tracks released in 2018, is limited to one release per artist, and is going to focus more on the songs themselves than the promotion surrounding the comeback. Without further ado, let's dive into the ranking. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Starry Night, but when this song first came out, I had it on repeat for weeks. It is such an infectious song, and I think it really shows off how fantastic Mamamoo are at pulling off these mature, badass concepts. Getting to experience Mamamoo's Four Seasons project was such a treat. They truly exude confidence with each of their songs, but there's also a certain sense of vulnerability that they demonstrate, which I feel like sets them apart from other groups that tackle similar themes. In terms of Egotistic specifically, the song itself is a bop from the first listen, but there's also a certain sense of pain and betrayal lingering in the lyrics, which I think the members do a great job of portraying. In particular, I love Moonbyeol's rap verse in the song. I'm not someone who generally takes notice of rapping in comparison to other aspects of a song, but this is one of my favorite rap sections in a K-pop song, and I think it really shapes the theme of the track. What I love about Moonbyeol's rapping is that she doesn't try to force herself into a particular sound by modifying her voice to sound edgy, but rather speaks in a pretty natural manner. Also, Solar saying "bra" added 3 years to my lifespan. Not to be dramatic or anything, but hearing Naeun say, "I'm so sick of flying, you gotta know that," shook me to my core. A-Pink has honestly had one of the greatest maturations of a group in K-pop. It's not like their sound did a complete 180, but rather they really grew into their current style and managed to maintain their own flair to their songs while transitioning away from cute concepts. Now, don't get me wrong, I love A-Pink's cute concepts. I still listen to Mr. Chu on the regular. But I feel like this style is something that really fits them. It's classy and elegant without feeling forced. I love the bittersweet emotion that can be felt within this song. The members do a great job of embodying the contrasting feelings conveyed in the song's lyrics. The chorus is incredibly catchy, but feels like a sort of mantra to get over a person who hurt them. The steady beat and repetition within it seems like a sort of representation to try to suppress their feelings, since they know it's in the best interest to move on from the person who hurt them. However, other parts of the song, especially in the bridge, make use of a more minimalistic backing track, which feels more indicative of their true feelings of pain and longing, which they've been attempting to deny in the rest of the song. Not only is the song fun to listen to, but I feel like the production does a great job of bringing out the complexity of the song's message.
Oh baby, can I be your boyfriend, can I? 네가 알지 못할 세상 알려주고 싶어.
This was low-key the best EXO release from 2018. The only group that can outsell EXO is EXO CBX. Blooming Day is proof that you don't need crazy production elements to create a phenomenal song. The song itself is pretty simple, and I think that this was a smart move to do since it really highlights the members' incredible vocals. You have a pretty straightforward melody going throughout the majority of the song, but what makes it stand out in my opinion is that bass going on in the background, giving the beat a bit of a punch. I think the clapping in the background is another great subtle element that makes the song feel catchy without making it super overbearing. It's an easy song to listen to, and I think the more you listen to it, the more it draws you in. My favorite part of this song is the bridge, especially Baekhyun's part. It's so minimal, yet so effective. Compared to other EXO songs, I don't think it's the most vocally demanding, but again, because of the simplicity of the backing track, I feel like I can really pay attention to how smooth and beautiful those vocals are, especially the members' background vocals and harmonies. This song really has me crying in the club. I think that this was the perfect ending to their Story of Flight album series. It manages to be catchy and upbeat, but also kind of makes me feel like crying listening to it. Based on the lyrics, I feel like the song has a sort of dual message. One for SHINee and their fans, and one between Jonghyun and the rest of SHINee. From the fan perspective, I feel like this can be interpreted either as SHINee confessing that although there may have been times where they took their fans' support for granted, they will always hold them dear in their hearts, especially in this time of change. Which isn't to say that the members of SHINee were ungrateful to their fans or anything, but I feel like sometimes we don't fully appreciate how much the support of others means to us until we realize what it's like to live without it. I can imagine within the K-pop industry, with everything moving at such a fast pace, idols probably have days where they'd rather be sitting at home or spending time with their family or friends instead of meeting fans and following their schedules. But at the end of the day, it's really evident how much each of the members of SHINee care about their fans, and that continues to remain evident even in the midst of their enlistments. Even though SHINee are no longer able to regularly see their fans, they still hold them dear in their hearts. The other interpretation I had was one between the other members and Jonghyun. I feel like this could serve as sort of a message for him in that even though he's no longer physically with them, they'll always hold him in their hearts as they move forward through their lives and continue on as SHINee. SHINee have been very candid about fighting a lot during their early days, which falls along the theme of the song about initially taking someone for granted, but at the end of the day, counting on their support and loving them with an open heart. I talked about how much I loved Oh My Mistake in my last video, and I don't want to sound redundant, so let me just summarize my thoughts. Like I mentioned, this was a phenomenal comeback. I absolutely loved all the retro elements that they included within this song. My favorite part of it was probably the chorus. It subtly elevates the rest of the song by adding that extra layer of synth for a sort of ethereal sound in the chorus. It's a song that seems straightforward at first, but I think that layer of bass throughout it adds a certain element of mystery and darkness to it, which makes it stand out. I will never be able to hear the word jealous normally again. I was really surprised at how much I liked this song, since I generally don't gravitate towards song in the deep house style, and also because I don't usually like whispering in songs, but something about the song is just so addicting. I think it's the way the bass hits in the chorus combined with Hwiyoung and Chanye's deep voices. I've done a fairly good job of refraining from talking about choreographies for this list because I wanted to focus more on the music, but I felt like this was one song where I just needed to mention it. While I do think dancing can be a cool way to complement the meaning of a song, it's usually the least important factor I consider when debating how much I like a song or a comeback, since I see it as more of an added bonus if I like it. But for many of SF9's songs, I found myself paying particular attention to the choreographies of their tracks because I genuinely think that dancing is an integral part of turning the song into an actual experience. My favorite part of the choreography is definitely Chanye's dance break. He did an amazing job at channeling his inner Michael Jackson for that section. I also really love the beginning and the end of the song, where you can see them mirroring that bouncing effect that's going on within the song. Whoever came up with the choreography clearly spent a lot of effort into creating something that truly enhanced the artistic nature of the song and gave it more meaning, rather than simply making something to prevent audiences from getting bored while seeing them on stage. Don't get me wrong, the song is still enticing on its own, but with the choreography, it becomes irresistible, and I still find myself going back and watching stages of these performances. I think it physically killed me to choose a favorite Red Velvet title track from 2018, but at the end of the day, I decided to choose the queen herself, Bad Boy. Compared to the rest of Red Velvet's discography, Bad Boy actually didn't stand out to me that much when I first listened to it, but it's a song that has aged like fine wine. It perfectly embodies their Velvet concept. The track is smooth and sexy without being overpowering. Each listen of the song drew me in more and more. I think it's because I didn't really appreciate all the elements going on in the song until I paid more attention to them over time. In addition to their incredible vocals and harmonies, I love how the beat of the song enhances the message without being overbearing. It isn't like the sole driver of the song like a lot of EDM-based tracks, but rather supplements those gorgeous vocals to subtly highlight the mystery and danger within the song. One of my favorite parts of the song is Yeri's part right after the chorus. I just love the way that they designed that section. The fading in and out of the background track really highlights her vocals and provides a contrast between the more vocal and beat-heavy part of the chorus, which makes the song much more interesting to listen to without spoiling the elegance of the track. Also, it made that moment where she started singing in English in those KCON performances all the more shocking. You can bet I still regularly sing along to the English version of Bad Boy in my car. I do love my fair share of angsty K-pop songs, and Shoot Me is no exception. Day6 is a group that consistently knows how to release incredible music, and the fact that each of the members plays such a large role in composing and writing the lyrics to their songs just makes it feel more personal and relatable. Each of the members are fantastic vocalists. Everyone brings something different to the table in terms of the emotions that they convey through their vocal tones. When I first listened to this song, the member who stood out to me the most was Sungjin. I loved the raspiness of his voice. It really fits the theme of pain within the song. However, after listening to the song many times, I've concluded that my favorite part of this is the bridge. It starts off with them chanting that it's okay to hurt them, but then for Wonpil's verse, he sings about how much pain each bullet brings to his heart. What I love about this is that you can still faintly hear the other members singing that same part from before as Wonpil sings over them. To me, this part really personifies the inner turmoil that the members feel in the song. They know that they're in pain, yet they can't let go. They would rather endure the pain of their partner's vicious words than cut them off. This song literally gives me chills when I listen to it. I absolutely love Dreamcatcher's discography, and this song in particular happens to be one of my favorite title tracks because of its almost cinematic nature. Dreamcatcher is one of the few groups I absolutely love that stick to a particular style, because each of their tracks still feels captivating and unique despite everything being grounded in rock-influenced roots. The pre-chorus is easily one of the best I've heard in a K-pop song. I absolutely love the way it builds. You have this orchestral section at the beginning of it, giving the song a sort of dreamlike quality, and then as it progresses, the addition of the guitar gives a sense of urgency and danger. Then once you finally get to the chorus, you're hit with the full instrumentals, giving it a much stronger impact and adding more dimension. I also love the way that they constructed the final chorus of the song. Unlike the other section, the beginning of this chorus starts off with that more toned-down orchestral section, which provides a strong contrast with the intensity that was built up in the bridge. This drastic change highlights the change in the lyrics of this part of the chorus compared to the previous two ones. Instead of telling the listener to open their eyes, they're now telling them to close it, which may be indicative of their desire to either enter a dream or shield themselves from reality, based on the concept of the music video. This is a song that I believe has a sense of timelessness to it, and I can definitely see myself enjoying this for years to come.
바라보잖아, baby. Tell me now. 바라보잖아, baby.
This is one of my absolute favorite songs of all time in K-pop. I really miss the Rose. I hope the members get the justice they deserve. For those of you guys who don't know, the members recently terminated their contracts with their entertainment company, citing mistreatment and claiming that they hadn't received compensation for their work. They genuinely seemed really passionate about music, and they're such talented musicians. But back to the specific song though, I think it manages to be quite captivating while still being able to convey a sense of melancholy. I'm generally not a fan of slow, sad songs, so I always find it really interesting when artists are able to convey that sense of sorrow without relying on that particular style. My favorite part of the song is where Woosung is singing in the bridge. I absolutely love his voice. It is so distinct and full of emotion. I also love the way that they decided to build up this part of the song. It does a great job of enhancing the story told by the lyrics. For the majority of the song, they discuss how they've noticed their partner doesn't seem content with their relationship. However, the turning point within the song happens in the bridge, where they decide that they need to be the ones to leave first in order to stop holding their partner back. In Dojun's part, we have most of the instrumental track fade out, but then when Woosung starts singing, that bass reemerges, making it feel like some action is about to start taking place. As that part progresses, the drums intensify, building up that some sort of major decision is about to take place. But then there's a total pause in the music. The only sound during that time is Woosung sighing. To me, this represents them coming to the inevitable decision. While they don't want to break things off, they know what they have to do in order to serve the best interests of the person they care about. That's one of the reasons why I feel like it hits so much harder when Woosung then sings, "I'll leave you." You can also hear a bit more edge in his voice. He knows that he can't come back from his decision and has to toughen himself up. I also think that the keyboard part right after this vocal section does a great job of sealing that decision. It's very different from the more muted emotions felt within the rest of the song and signifies the finality of that decision. The members of the Rose are all incredibly gifted composers and lyricists, and I really hope that they get the treatment that they deserve in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching my super belated video about my favorite 2018 releases. Honestly, this list is still very much subject to change since I'm horrible at making lists and sticking to them, but I do really love all the songs I've mentioned here, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon in the future. Let me know what some of your favorite releases were in the comments. Also, if you guys have any video suggestions, please let me know, since I actually have more time to edit now that my finals are over. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching.